Okay. Welcome everybody. So yeah, this is the Road to Certification Associate Cloud Engineer Study Group. Roman, here we have Kevin, we have Linda, and we're just gonna go over again the session one because this is session one. So the things that we were supposed to complete for this session were provided in the previous one. Apologies that we started a little bit later. It's just that we had a little bit of a logistic issue. But here is where I just wanted to show you the public profile. So if you go to, of course, the home, like in your Cloud Skills Boost, this is the the page, the Cloud Skills Boost. And then when you click here and then you go to public profile right here, you click on your avatar and then you click on public profile. Here, this is your public profile. So the public profile will have like all the badges that you've earned so far, plus the ones that are required for this certification. So let me show you here the ones that we need to be working on. So I think I have my, let me show you the slides. So the ones from last session that we showed, this is the slides from session one, or the information session. We were explaining about why you need to be certified and whatnot. And then if you go to slide 35, I'm gonna drop this this link also here, just in case nobody has it. So I'm gonna just drop it in here in the chat. Jack says, is the public profile visible only after you complete a module? Your public profile is available all the time, whether you complete a module or not. So that's there. Even if when you create your Cloud Skills Boost and you join, you get a public profile automatically with that email. And then every time you complete badges against that email, then your public profile will continue piling up badges. But it is there. If you don't have anything, it will just show blank. But here, these are all the badges that I've earned, and then those are that's how you track like your progress and whatnot. But yeah, that's a good question anyway. So I just dropped the link to that slide. Thank you, Linda. Jack, you don't have a public profile? Interesting. And Nate, you have the 30-day subscription free trial. You can start with that. First time you have to make it public. Linda, what do you mean by that? Because I thought that everybody just had a public profile. Maybe I might be mistaken.
So basically, you can you go back, not here in the homepage?
Homepage, yeah. So let me go back.
Go on the homepage. So basically, do you see there at the top you have profile button?
Right here.
No, not in the picture. Yeah. And here you say update settings, but if you first time it's private. So where it says update settings, you put it as public.
Oh, I see. Okay, got it. So apologies
it's
for
private
yes.
first. First of all, it's private, and you have to enable it to be public.
Thank you. See, that's why we need other folks in here to support us. So thank you, Linda. You see your answer, Jack. The way to make it public is you have to go inside of if you're in home, and then you have home, paths, catalog, profile, and then when you click on profile, you have to make sure to update the settings, and then you have to fill up, like you put your name, your stuff, blah blah blah. If I click here, and then I believe that's how I don't recall doing that. That's why I'm saying like it must have been a little bit a while ago. But no, Linda, that's a great point. So yes, if you don't have it, that means you can make it public by editing the account settings and kind of like turning it on. So yes, I like that. That's a very good point.
First time even mine when I started a few years ago with Quick Labs was not public, was private. By default, it's private. You have to enable it to be public so you can share it and show everybody your badges.
Good for you, Jack. So Jack already turned it on, and Javier, you're totally right. You could have more than one profile. If you set up a Cloud Skills Boost account with more than one account, yes, you're gonna have multiple profiles. So the reason why I'm showing you this is because of this thing that I'm building, and I'm gonna have everybody to see if you want to join. So I'm building this Flutter web application, which I'm calling it Badge Tracker. Let me reload again. I'm still developing it, but if anybody's interested in joining these efforts, in like keeping everybody accountable as far as like having like checking how many badges you've earned against this like if you want to, if for example, like here I've just added a few people just as an example, but here I can add your public profile in here, and then we can track how many badges everybody has. If you just click on one person, you can see how many badges they've earned, the total badges for this campaign, and how many you need to complete this campaign. It keeps track of how many badges you have and all that. I'm still finishing it up, but it's like a cool tool.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's coming out. It's coming out really nice. And you see this order is the order in which in how many badges you've completed. Paul, of course, I don't think anybody's gonna beat Paul. Look how many Paul has. He has 33 badges.
Paul is
So
a
yeah,
champion.
so yeah,
Champion.
this is gonna be this is gonna be a really cool thing. If anybody wants to be part of this, like you want to keep track of how many badges you have, we want to just do it in a very collaborative session. So we can do it like this. I'll send this form over if anybody wants to be part of that. And also remember, we're gonna be doing office hours informal sessions in the weeks in between these sessions. These sessions are every 2 weeks. But then in the weeks in between, we're going to have an informal session just through Google Meet. If you're interested in joining those, we're going to be reviewing exam questions. We're going to be going into the Google Cloud Console. We're going to start doing hands-on labs. So that one is more like informal to prepare for the exam, reviewing questions, answering questions, and all that. It's going to be looking like this. So it's going to be Slido. And then with Slido, let me show you what is it that we're preparing. So when you go to Slido, you're gonna get like a quiz. It's kind of like a quiz, and then everybody can just with their phone, for example, like scan the QR code on the quiz, and then all of us try. Let me show you this one, for example, like presenting a new tab. So everybody's gonna like scan the QR code. We're going to be doing like random questions on the exam, and then we can just like answer questions. And then these are actually sample exam questions that we're all going to be like practicing on our own. We're gonna answer the questions, and then we're gonna go to the Google Cloud and see why we got it right, why we got it wrong, and then we're gonna do like very interactive sessions, but in the weeks between. So stay tuned for that link. Are going to be actually, why don't I just drop it right now? So I was about to do it later, but I'm going to just grab this link and copy it for folks. I'm going to drop it in the chat. And then if anybody is interested in doing that, and yes, Jose said that Paul is the batch king. He is the batch king, man. Nobody can beat him. So if you are interested in joining those sessions, the in-between sessions, the office hours, practice exam quizzes, we're going to go inside the Google Cloud Console. We're going to do all of that. Okay, so Elaine is already here. So I'm going to stop sharing so that she can start presenting. But just wanted to let you guys know we're going to be holding those informal sessions. I hope everybody joins. And yeah, we'll see you again in the weeks in between. We're going to be sending you a Google Meet, and we're going to invite you, and then we're going to see you there. Great. Okay, so I'll leave it now to Elaine. Go ahead.
Thanks, Roman. All right. Realize everyone's here already. Everyone's early. That's amazing. Well, yeah, I could go ahead and share my screen to get started.
I think she may have clicked the wrong button. I think we lost her. Okay, there
I'm
she
back.
is.
Sorry about that. All right. But yeah, I'll share my screen, but I won't get started until 8:30 EST. Just to wait for everyone to trickle in, kind of. Okay. Cool. And I'll also go ahead and drop in the link in the chat for the slides so we could keep track if you ever need to refer back.
So Elaine, just wanted to confirm. So the time was correct. It's at 8 p.m. So we can start right away. So people were have been
Oh,
already here since 8.
oh, I am so sorry. I got the time wrong. I am so sorry about that.
No problem. We took the time to actually set everybody up and
Mhm.
answer other questions. So at least we took advantage of some of that time. But go
Okay.
ahead and start.
Thank
No
you
problem.
for that. Yeah, for sure. All right, go ahead. I'll go ahead and start sharing. Okay. So thank you for joining us. I'm sorry for the tardiness, but let's go ahead and dive in real quick. So today we're joined with GDG Lawrence, GDG Cloud Twin Cities, Capital Region, Hudson, and Suncoast. Thank you for everyone's support, and let's get started. So basically, the ACE certification journey is to help you uh, from your textbook knowledge to gain expertise and job role excellence. And a quick little itinerary for today, we're going to start with a certification journey overview, a spotlight on the ACE certification itself, and also an introduction to GCP, some certification prep tips and tricks, and some next steps following that. All right, so the Google Cloud Certification Journey learning program actually provides Googlers with the opportunity to learn and prepare for certification exams. The program is an end-to-end journey supported by multiple learning modalities, on-demand training, self-paced labs like Quick Labs, Cloud Skills Boost, classroom training, peer-to-peer community support. Of course, that's where we're at, and also technical mentorship. So learning with us provides you a few benefits. You get this bi-weekly study groups, on-demand resources such as Cloud Skills Boost. And if you are unable to get access to your subscription, do let us know. We'll help you out for sure. As for community forum, we'll also have our Slack channel, the Road to Certification Slack channel, and make sure to join us there. That's where we're gonna update you guys whenever we have any resources to share. And also, if you had any questions, we could definitely share our knowledge on that. All right, and then we have skill badges. So basically, as you continue your Cloud Skills Boost journey, you're gonna receive a skill badge for all the quests that you receive, and that's when you can actually showcase to the public, maybe on LinkedIn, on your resume, and things like that. And it is a badge of recognition in terms of your skills in the cloud. So just a quick spotlight on the Associate Cloud Engineer program. So ACE is a job task-based certification focused on core Google Cloud technology, and it's a great starting point for those that are new to the cloud or specifically Google Cloud, and can be used as a first step towards any of the professional level certifications. So if you see here anything that's marked professional certification, and as you see the recommendation, they recommend that you have 3+ years industry experience and 1 year hands-on experience with Google Cloud. But however, it does differ per person, so you don't necessarily have to follow the recommendations. As you can see, the Associate Cloud Engineer has a recommendation of 6+ months hands-on experience with Google Cloud, but with our team here, we will help you gain that experience as fast as possible. So join us in our bi-weekly sessions until September 29th, right before Cloud Next 2022, and that's where we'll help you gain enough of knowledge, comfortability, and also experience to actually take on the exam. So if you want to compare the ACE certification to other professional level certifications, you can clearly see that there is this lack of business requirement aspect to it. So basically, you don't have to know how to analyze business models or learn how to align your skills to actual customers and their business models, business goals, and things like that. So that's one of the main differences. And although ACE is the recommended foundational certification pathway to take, newcomers and experienced students on GCP, this certification basically just provides a fantastic opportunity for you to actually kick off your journey. So an associate cloud engineer should know how to deploy applications, monitor operations, and manage enterprise solutions, and basically be able to use Google Cloud Console and the command line interface to perform common platform-based tasks to maintain one or more deployed solutions that leverage Google managed or self-managed services on Google Cloud. And the certification exam specifically covers your ability to set up a cloud solution environment, plan and configure a cloud solution, deploy and implement a cloud solution, ensure successful operation of said cloud solution, and also configure access and security. And all these topics will be covered in depth in the weeks to come. So be sure to join us in bi-weekly sessions, and we have every interval we have study groups where you could actually get more practice for sample questions. So here is your learning journey, or the learning journey that is planned out, recommended as well. So if you see here, we have some on-demand training, which actually covers some core concepts. As for hands-on lab practice, that's where you can gain the actual experience in terms of navigating through GCP. And let's go ahead and get started with introduction to the Google Cloud Platform. So basically, cloud computing, to start off real quick, generally it has 5 fundamental attributes. So on-demand self-service, not needing human intervention to actually get what you need. Broad network access, being able to access your resources from any part of the world. Resource pooling, where the provider, in our case, it's going to be Google Cloud, where they share resources to customers, and said resources is also the same resources that they use internally. And also rapid elasticity, where you could actually scale up, scale down whenever you need based on your own needs or your organization's needs. And measured service, being that you only have to pay for what you consume. So if we want to categorize GCP services, we have roughly about 19 categories in total where you could access. So basically, GCP's computing architecture meets you where you are. Services may include, but are not limited to, say, infrastructure as a service, IaaS, where you have ownership over the underlying architecture, and also ranges up to function as a service, like Cloud Function, where you can control functions to be triggered by some event. Not to mention, Google offers customers the ability to run their applications through third-party vendors, and some of the benefits include having the freedom to use open APIs, application programming interfaces with, or if they wanted to interact with multiple clouds, so say Azure and things like that. Google also uses open source licenses to create ecosystems that provide customers with options other than Google. So say that you wanted to use TensorFlow, an ecosystem based on TensorFlow has been set up in Google Cloud for you to actually utilize. And I'll also go ahead and drop in the chat a quick little cheat sheet for all the GCP services that is currently in place. It's a really fun little cheat sheet. They categorized it under different kind of views, so you can see it as a card or as a list and things like that. All right, moving on, we're going to start by looking at regions and zones. The reason being that GCP resources and also projects and tools in general are categorized by regions and zones, and therefore this being a very important core fundamental that you should consider. So regions and independent geographic areas. Regions are independent geographic areas that consist of zones, whereby zone is a deployment area for GCP resources within a region. So in order to deploy a fault-tolerant application, you would want to make sure to deploy your applications across multiple zones in a region to just help prevent unexpected failure. So this doesn't necessarily mean that a data center has a shutdown. It could also mean natural disasters within a zone, and you just want to make sure that there is high availability for your applications. So GCP services and resources can be zonal, regional, or multi-region. And if we were to look at that in depth, zonal basically means to operate within a single zone, as the name implies. And if a zone becomes unavailable, unfortunately, all zonal resources in that zone are unavailable until service is restored. But if it was a regional resource, it basically means that resources are deployed within the region itself, though there is a little bit of redundancy, but it does ensure a fault tolerant availability. And as for multi-region, it actually is managed by Google, so it is distributed within and across regions as per their programming plan. And also a quick little fun fact, Google has been 100% carbon neutral since 2007 and will shortly reach 100% renewable energy resources for its data centers as part of its responsibility and commitment to the environment. So that's an amazing thing, yeah. And speaking on pricing real quick, so this is your measured service. They have 5 kind of programs in place or aspects. Billing in stop-hour increments, basically to just pay as you go. You don't pay unnecessary costs when you're not using a resource. Discounts for sustained use. An example as shown is that a discount is automatically applied to VMs that use over 25% off a month. And discounts for committed use, where you have a long-term payload. And discounts for preemptible use, basically discounts for more ad hoc cases, and also custom VM instance types, where you pay only for the resources you need for your application. Now let's go ahead and look at security real quick. And this is basically Google's commitment to the security of its customers' data and also the protection of their own organization. So as you can see, Google has a steady 6-layer operational security system in place, starting from the most fundamental being hardware infrastructure, having custom-made appliances, using also a variety of technologies to ensure its server machines are booting the correct software stack, making sure that that tech stack mentioned doesn't contain vulnerabilities or any issues that may be attacked by other third-party people. And also Google ensures that its premises of its data centers is always kept in place. And moving up, we have service deployment, whereby Google's infrastructure provides cryptographic privacy and integrity for RPC, or remote procedure call, on its network. And speaking on RPC, Google actually communicates with one another. Its resources communicates with one another using RPC calls, and from that traffic, they make sure that it's automatically encrypted before reaching the data center itself. As for verification of user's identity, so an example would be the Google's login page. Google's infrastructure does comprehend several various factors, but are not limited to. So the basic knowledge that we know is username and password, and they also keep track of the device that you use to log in. So if you ever get a notification saying, oh, did you log in using this new device? That's basically Google's user identity layer security. And also the location of where you're logging in from. And besides that, Google does also support the U2F functionality, which is basically a 2-factor authentication standard that authenticates users based on a private security key. Then we have the storage services layer, where encryption is at rest. So basically your data is always automatically encrypted. And we have the the internet communication layer, where it ensures that correct certificates are in place and to also prevent denial of service attacks. So denial of service basically ensures that your resources are always available to be used. And we have the operational security layer, which is a comprehensive security program in place for their own organization itself. So say that Google employees have to actually follow a certain procedure, and also what tools are in place to ensure the safety of their own employees. And that's for the security part. Moving on, we have some certification prep tips and tricks. But before I go on, do we have any questions regarding the quick little overview of GCP itself? I know that I actually rumbled on a lot, so I hope that it was at a nice pace. All right, I'll give 3 more seconds. Okay. All right, seems like there's no questions, and I will go ahead and move on. But basically, the quick little overview of GCP is something that you will want to know. It's more of a basic, fundamental of cloud computing, and it's not really covered in the modules that we will look into bi-weekly. All right, we have the certification tips and tricks. Also in the chat, I realized Brijesh mentioned that or asked if there were any Udemy course suggestions for ACE exam. Personally, I'm not aware of any for Udemy, but there are definitely a lot for Coursera, so it might be a platform you want to check out. All right, so about the exams real quick, the length is 2 hours and the exam format is multiple choice and multiple select. And the prereq is just the basics, which is to create a web assessor profile. And then from there, you want to go ahead and actually schedule your exam, pay for your exam, and then only can actually take the exam, right? And as for recommended experience, not necessary, but it does mention 6+ months hands-on experience with GCP. But as long as you are able to follow or keep up with us, you're definitely on the right track. I wouldn't say that it is a necessity for a 6 months journey. Anyways, let's move on to registering for the ACE exam. For basic steps, you want to log into your web assessor account or sign up if you don't already have one. And you could find the link when you actually look for Google Cloud Associate Cloud Engineer certification exam or something like that. And then you want to go ahead and find a Criterion testing center near you. So Criterion is the platform, or I would say organization, that they use to help maintain their certification exams. So it does differ if you are choosing an online or in-person testing method. And then you want to go ahead and schedule a testing date and time. And then you want to pay for your exam using an exam voucher or a credit card. And let's go ahead and look at setting up for the exam. We have 2 specific setups, one being an online setup or in person. So as for an online setup, you do have to review some system requirements, say your hardware or your internet, things like that. And you also have to download a secure browser. So it basically ensures that you don't open up any other tabs or your notes to look at, things like that. And then you want to go ahead and also create your biometric profile. So that's just to ensure that you are the person logging into this account or using this account to take exams. So that's when you would need an identification or a form of identification. And I highly recommend that you do this one day or at least prior to the exam, not necessarily an hour before, but maybe a day before. There are some bugs sometimes, so sometimes it takes a while. For me, it actually took quite a while, and they can't recognize my form of identification for some reason, so I had to keep retrying. So I'm very thankful that I did it earlier, for sure. As for in person, you want to make sure to prepare 2 forms of identification and also your test take authorization code. Specifically, the test take authorization code will be emailed to you, so you just want to take note of that. Personally, I've not taken any in-person exams yet, but definitely if you do have any questions, we can help you out for sure. And as for the exam day itself, you want to make sure to prepare some form of identification, and also log into your exam like 30 minutes before, so you could actually set up your environment. And also a heads up, you will be prompted to actually use your webcam to show your environment. So you want to make sure that it isn't messy, that there isn't clutter, and you are to remove any notes or books and utensils or anything that may look like potentially that you could have your notes in from your environment. And for me, I was allowed to keep 1 cup or my cup of water, but I had to remove my other water bottles and things like that. So that was an interesting thing. So maybe just make sure that your environment's clean, that there's no noise and things like that. And quick little examination tips. Yeah, so you gotta pay attention to qualifiers like usually, all, never, none, things like that. They do specify it a lot, and that really does affect your outcome. And also pay attention to keywords such as the best, the least, except. And user stories are common in the certification exam, so you want to pay attention to the mentioned scenario. So an example would be, so say that you are, an example question would be, so say that you are approached by XYZ company, whereby they're trying to look for a storage solution, but they have a budget in place. So say that you know that the optimal storage solution is such and such. You would also have to consider their budget case scenario in place and actually go from there. So that's how their questions are formulated, basically. And also review your answers and pace yourself well. There are 50 questions on the exam, and you are allowed 2 hours to complete that. And also, right before you submit, you are presented with a list of all the questions, so 50 questions, and you can basically look at all your questions and answers again. And also there is an option at each question to actually select if you want to mark for review later. So basically at the end, right before you submit, as I said, the list of questions, you can see which question you actually marked out to be reviewed again. So make sure to take note of that and use that if you wanted to. Lastly, we have our next steps real quick. So basically, your next steps are real simple. So just follow your learning plan on Cloud Skills Boost, try on the hands-on lab, and also try on any on-demand courses if you can. And also attend our bi-weekly study group sessions. And also in our Slack channel, go ahead and ask questions and contribute to community. That's when you can get your questions answered. And most probably, if you have a question about something, someone else might also have the same question. So do not be afraid to ask anything. We will definitely help you out no matter what. And that's it for now, I think. Yeah, that's all that I had today. Cool. Did anyone have any questions or concerns that I could answer? Okay.
Elaine, thank you for the
Mhm.
presentation. I've been answering a couple of the questions for the folks in the chat. Yeah. Oh, okay. Now we see a couple of more trickling in. So we see
Yeah.
Oku says, "What are the times the study group is meeting?" So Oku, let me take that one, Elaine. So the group meets every 2 weeks, like like just like today. So we have formal sessions every 2 weeks. You will see the ones; those are the ones that we have in GDG Lawrence, in GDG Capital Region, and GDG Cloud Twin Cities. Every 2 weeks, we have these formal sessions. Now, in the off weeks, the weeks in between, we're going to be doing a informal office hours. If anybody is stuck on their labs, they can't get past one lab, you can ask questions there. We're also going to be reviewing exam questions. We're going to be giving you the resources to study next for the next session so that you come prepared and whatnot. So, do you mind, Elaine, showing the slide
Yeah.
where we have like all the like whatever everybody's supposed to be doing on every week? They're
Hmm.
supposed to have it on a week, but we made it 2 week. We made it
Hmm.
bi-weekly to give people a chance to complete them better. Not in a rush or anything. So, can you go to the
Hmm.
slide where we show like all the weeks where whatever
Yeah,
everybody's
for
supposed to
sure.
do? Mhm.
So, like Roman mentioned, I feel like this time frame is a perfect time frame where you could actually access your on-demand training and hands-on lab at the same time. Because personally, the hands-on lab took or it takes quite a while, right? And you also have basically in your quest, like your first week, create and manage cloud resources, whereby there are a few labs in that quest and also a challenge lab at the end. So it does take quite a while. And you have your preparing for your associate cloud engineer journey, on demand training, and also Google Cloud Fundamentals core infrastructure training. So just make sure to review that. And that's basically what we have for week one until our next bi weekly session, which
Are
is on.
sorry about that, Elaine. Are you
You're
sharing that
fine.
slide? We can't see it. Like the slide
Oh,
where
really?
we have the every week. Like because right now we just see the slide that says about the exams. That's all we can see right now.
Oh, um, Linda and Linda and Jadid said that they could see it. Okay, let me stop sharing and share again.
Yeah, try
Maybe
that because for some
maybe
reason
there's a
it was
bug.
like okay. For some reason it was like
Yeah,
stuck for me on that screen. Okay, got
that's
it. Yeah, it's
interesting.
a little bit of latency. I may see. Yeah, so the
You're
enough
fine.
reason to study the Google Cloud now to actually understand this. So open up, and then I just wanted to. Is that perfect?
There.
Okay. See, I was not seeing that for some reason. So yeah, so we provided in the previous week, which was the pre-work. We gave that introduction, the info session. We gave everybody the credits, and then we told you to work on week one, like in anticipation of today. So that way, whenever now when we go to the study group, the informal sessions, now you come prepared. So please make sure to
Mm.
focus on week one, on the column on week one, which is 3 badges. Is the preparing for your associate cloud engineer, the core fundamentals. If you come brand new to cloud, the second one is going to be amazing because you're going to learn the fundamentals of the Google Cloud. Pretty much what Elaine covered today, but in more depth with hands-on labs and whatnot. So you're gonna have a lot of fun on that. So make sure to complete
Mhm.
week one, and then for next Thursday, we're gonna be going over the exam questions on that week only. That way, we keep it very focused, and everybody just like studies towards a goal. It's like you focus on week one, complete those 3 badges. You come next week, ready to answer some of those questions. If you're not, that's totally fine. At least you come and you see, what we're all about. Then you get prepared for the following one, and then you catch up to that. So you have like 2 weeks to complete then the following one. You can continue like that, but if you go at that pace along with us, you're going to be better prepared because we're going to be
Mhm.
discussing the topics on that week, on the previous week, and then we're gonna review exam questions, go inside of the
Yeah.
Google Cloud, doing it more hands-on and more interactive. So I just wanted to clarify that. So thank you.
Yeah. No, for sure. So, um, excuse me if I get your name wrong, but Jose or Jode would asked if you would recommend taking the exam in person or virtual. You've taken the online one, but it was kind of stressful because of the monitoring rules. I unfortunately cannot answer your question because I've only ever taken the virtual one or online one. Also, has anyone taken in person? If you would like to share your experience. Oh, okay. So Rose said that they've taken the Cisco in-person exams. But they're stressful. Okay. So, well, a trade-off, I guess. So, if you're online, you could technically get yourself comfortable without having to actually physically reach your destination. Um, but in person, you get only a paper and pencil. Oof. It's been a while since I've used just paper and pencil.
I took the AWS. I took the AWS developer, cloud developer,
Mm-hmm.
and that was in person. But I had to go to
Mm-hmm.
a proctored office, and you have to sit down. You have to check your pockets. They empty your pockets. You have to put them in a
Right.
locker. You have to go. They
Right.
almost like strip you down, and then you go into this room. You can't say
Oh,
anything. They give you a paper and a pen, but you complete
yeah.
it in the computer. But these are old computers, tiny screen, and they only give you 45 minutes
Mm-hmm.
to complete it. I'm like, oh my god, no, actually, it's 45 questions for like an hour and a half or something like that. And
Oh my
but
gosh.
yeah, it was really stressful, really crazy. But it's like that.
Right.
I'm like, come on, man, like really, like this strict? Yeah, you can't even look on the sides. They
Oh
check that you
yeah.
don't have any, and then if you do it online, you've already been through that. You have to show your
Mm-hmm.
camera, point your camera
Mm-hmm.
around the room. Oh, show me under the desk, show me under
Yeah.
the laptop, behind the
Yeah.
laptop.
Yeah.
Shake yourself up and down. This is
Right.
crazy.
Right.
So I would recommend people. I mean, if you don't want to go through like maybe if still maybe COVID is still an issue in your area,
Mm-hmm.
recommend doing it online. Otherwise, you can go to these places, and if you like Rose says, they're really stressful. If you
Mm-hmm.
like the adrenaline, yeah, go to one of those.
If you like the adrenaline, yes. If you like a little more stress in your life, maybe in person, right? And also Carol did mention before you sign up online, you have to test your internet connection. Unfortunately, that is the case. And for my latest exam, I had to reconfigure my internet connection per se, several times. So just to make sure that there's a stable connection. It does. There is this latency apparently. Everything's moving perfectly fine, but when it comes to testing internet, somehow it fails. But I retried it 5 times or something like that, then it passed. So it might just be luck. Um, but yeah, that's that. And also, GD it said, and your Google Cloud Skills Boost profile. Um, how to add or subscribe to this learning path? Couldn't find it when I clicked add. Hmm.
So one way to do it, Hadid, is you go to right there in the week one column. Elaine, you can show him, like, if you want to join that one, you can either click directly to those links, or you can go to the you can go here exactly. See, this is one of them. You can go in there through there, and you enroll into each one of those. The second one,
Mm-hmm.
you go where it says paths. Show him at the top, the second link from the top. It says home, then paths.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, if you go back to that and then go where it says home, then paths, and then one of the cloud engineer learning path, the third one
Oh,
from the top.
there you go.
You see cloud engineer. If you click on that one consolidates all of them. All of the things that
Mm-hmm.
are in this campaign are in here. So if you go by the slide, start step by step. do week 1, and then in week 1 you have those 3. I think it's the first 3 ones. I think are the ones for the first week, the first 4
Yeah.
actually. Yeah, exactly. So if you join this one and subscribe to this learning path, and then you go by one by one on what we provided on the slides, then you're good to go. So for next week, if you subscribe to our office hours, where we're going to be doing exam questions, hands-on on the Google Cloud, and answering all your questions, and you go one by one in that order, you're going to be in a very good trajectory if you really want to take the exam and you want to definitely be successful.
Yeah, for sure. So, and also if you enroll in your class, I will show you how you can get your you can show your skill badges. Let me look at this real quick. So you look
Show
at
that as
your
well.
public profile. There we go. Sorry if I cut you off, Roman, but so you're gonna click on your account, public profile. If you have not made it public, you wanna just click on make it public or something like that. It's a button, and this is where you can display your skill badges, and from here you can actually share your skill badge, and specifically you can share on your LinkedIn profile, feed, Twitter, Facebook, and things like that. And that's basically how you showcase your skill badges and your public profile. All right.
Good. Yeah, thank you, Elaine, for showing that. A few folks were a little bit confused and didn't know. But yeah, once you join that cloud engineer learning path, and not only the ones that we're giving you here in this campaign and for week 1 are there are a little bit more than that, and you can even continue your journey learning more about the cloud, all leveraging all the credits that are there. So you can do every lab. If you want to do it twice, go for it. If you feel like you need a little bit extra support, of course we're in there in the Slack channel. Please, please, please join next session, where we're going to be trying the exam, the questions, going inside of the Google Cloud, doing on. But again, we want to give you this, free time for you, like at your own pace, so that you can complete these badges. This is not us saying, go do it on your own and forget about you. No, no, we're saying we respect that you have your own life and you have family and all of that. So take advantage of the time that you have, little by little. Sorry about that. So if you have, little by little, you can, complete these badges, and then when we come together into these sessions, then we review together, we practice together, and so yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And if we were to look into one of the skill badges, so we have create and manage. Okay, there we go. Sorry. Okay, I'll open this up real quick. Oh, let me search for it. Let's just look at this maybe. All right, so an on-demand training would look something like that, where you have your documents, videos that explain some concepts, some quizzes. It's usually 1 to 2 or 3 questions only. Some videos again, and also the lab itself. So this would be one of the on-demand training. And if I were to go back, let's look at a specific quest itself. So I'm just gonna search for it actually. Create and manage. And manage our resources. So this is what the quest itself would look like. It has a couple labs, and they are quite lengthy. And also at the end, there is a challenge lab where if you see, or if you look into the lab itself, it has very clear instructions. Not to say all of them are very clear, but they definitely have instructions and guides on how you could tackle each problem. But as for a challenge lab, they merely provide you simple questions or a problem, say that, oh, we want to create or we want to leverage this tool, could you go ahead and actually implement it? And that's basically all that they give you, and you're actually supposed to test your knowledge and execute them on your own. So you can see over here that there's a challenge scenario and a user story usually, and basically all the configurations that you have to take note of, such as the steps where you have to create all resources in a default region or zone unless otherwise directed, and things like that. But yeah, quick little overview of your challenge lab, your quests, and things like that.
Can we address a few of the questions in the chat? Amit, you say,
Mhm.
can I redo a lab after completing it once? Yes, you can do that. Javier says, nice. Anything we can do to help? I might not be able to attend, but I can spread the word. Yes, Javier. Yeah. Sorry that maybe you may not be able to join, but yes, you can join some of these sessions. As you can. We totally understand that other people have commitments, but let's say if you're really serious
Mhm.
about getting the certification and whatnot, you can continue on your own. But when you have a chance, join us. We are recording this session, so we're going to put them up there so that people continue getting these resources. But yeah, keep spreading the word. Anybody that you know interested in getting the certification, invite them over, even if they're doing it on their own on something else, but they can come to us to get that type of support where we review exam questions, we do hands-on labs and all of that. We want to do this in a community type of environment. So thank you for your support there. And Hadid, where are the recorded sessions saved? In the YouTube channel, in the GDG Lawrence YouTube channel. We're gonna upload it there, but also will be in the GDG Lawrence community page. It will also be there. Make sure to join the Slack channel so you get the link. We're gonna post it there as well. Yes,
There we go.
Nate, you invited your boy Keenan. Yes, invite everybody, man. And yes,
Also,
Carol just
just
mentioned
a
it. Join
quick.
the Slack
Oh,
channel.
sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry. Yeah. Just a quick follow-up from Amit as well. So if you redo a lab, you do have a limit of 5 chances per lab or something like that. So, but it's just a quota, and if you're unable to continue doing your lab, or they say that your quota has been reached, all you gotta do is so let me click on this real quick. You just gotta click on this help button, and you would try to get chat support and clarify your situation. Say that you're trying to redo it because you want to refresh your knowledge on a certain task or a certain resource, and they usually would just refresh your quota and you're good to go, and you have a fresh set of 5 chances.
Another hack, but again, the great thing is that you keep all your badges within one profile. Again, this is not a dig on you, Paul, because I know you have like a bunch of accounts and a bunch of things. But let's say if you want to practice, you could even have of course the goal of this of your public profile is that you have all your badges there and you complete them. You do follow what Elaine just said, but let's say if your goal is just to practice, you can have multiple accounts, and then
Right.
like the labs on another account. But again, that's a hack. But here we're trying to achieve that. You get your badges, you put it in your public profile, you put it on LinkedIn, and then you can brag about that. But try to follow that. But that's just another hack that I just wanted to mention. But yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Roman, for that tiny hack. It works. You just have to create multiple profiles, or if you wanted to create some test trial emails, I guess you
Yeah.
could.
I've done
Yeah,
that, but again, it's better to have it all consolidated in one. But yeah, that's just a hack.
Mhm.
But yeah, just
Yeah.
yeah. Paul says they're spread all over the place. Yeah, that's true. That's
Yeah. Cool. So, Brijesh, to answer your questions, the current quota limit is 5, but you could always request for more through the help chat, through the help center using the chat functionality, or if you wanted to use the hack to create other profiles to just redo your labs. It's totally fine.
Great. So anybody has any other questions to Elaine? Otherwise, what we're going to do is, again, remind everybody, complete week 1, the 3 badges that are there, complete those 3 badges, post your badges in the Slack channel. Let's celebrate, everybody's accomplishments. So whenever you complete 1 badge, drop it in the Slack channel. We'll applaud you. We'll give you +1s because we want to encourage everybody.
Mhm.
You in the link that I provided earlier, I'm going to drop it one more time. This is the office hours where you can also submit your your public profile in there if you want to get added to our badge tracker. uh, there, that same form, we're going to use it to send you an email, a private email, to our very closed, intimate office hours. So if you want to be part of those, make sure to sign up on that form and drop your public profile so that we can add you to the badge tracker.
Mm.
And if anything else, then Elaine, I mean, we can start wrapping up. If nobody else has any other
Yeah.
questions. Oh, I see Jose has one more question. Let's address that one. And I believe Karen. So can we address that?
Right. Yeah, for sure. So Karen asked, does the email associated with the cloud badges have to match the one associated to your LinkedIn profile in order for your badges to be displayed on LinkedIn? And thank you, Paul, for your answer. Basically, you don't. And I also had the mistake because my university email has an alias to the email. So currently, I technically have 2 public profiles or 2 profiles on Cloud Skills Boost. Um, but yeah, you don't have to have the same email for LinkedIn. And for Jose, do you have to do the courses first and then the quests? It is recommended that you do that because it does go by order, but you don't necessarily have to. Mostly because the on-demand courses or on-demand training is for more on the theory side, and for hands-on lab it's where you could actually use the theory in real life.
I think that's well said, Elaine. You should, yeah, and Jose, I would go with Elaine's recommendation. You do the theory first, like those courses, because then immediately when you start doing the hands-on labs, you're gonna be like, oh look, this is exactly what the guy said. If you do it the other way around, you're like, what am I doing? Like if when you do
Mhm.
the videos first and the quizzes first, and then you do the hands-on ones, you're gonna be in better shape. So I would go with
Mhm.
those. Yeah. Mhm.
There we go. Thanks, Roman. Well, yeah, if there are no other questions, I think we can definitely wrap up. I realize we're at time.
No, I think we
Oh,
did amazing
okay.
in time. We kept a very solid audience, 50 plus people consistently here. Thank you everybody for joining. I love everybody's questions. Jose says, what if I said
Mhm.
do them all first? Jose, focus on week 1 and then you do week
Mhm.
1, complete that, follow the next one. I know that you joined the learning path, but you should follow the slide. If you go by the slide, you're gonna go really well. It's gonna go really smooth for you. So if you just complete this in that order, it would be great. You can do them if you any way you want, but if you really want to
Mm.
leverage and maximize your learning,
Mhm.
you need to go. Yeah.
There you go. Well, yeah, thank you so much for joining us today. We're looking forward to see you in the next session, which is technically next week, the
Yes.
informal office hour.
We'll be
All
sending an
right.
Thank
invite
you.
for
Thank you,
that. Join.
Elaine. Thank you, Roman, for this great session.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great night. We'll see you next week. Make sure to
Thank
be in the
you.
Slack to join. To get all the resources. And let's
Do you
thank
want to take
Elaine
a
for an amazing.
picture, a final picture? Do you want to take a picture, stop the recording and take a picture with everyone, or you want to close it here?
I mean, if anybody is up for it, I
Wanted
can stop
to.
the recording and then do that. So I'll stop the recording.
Okay.
Sure.